Well, good morning, everyone. This is Evangelist Kalata Davis, right here from Spreading the Gospel Network, right here in Henderson, North Carolina. And we are so happy and elated to do a book interview with none other than Sandra Gamble, all the way from Bishopville. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about a biscuit. Lord help us all. South Carolina, Bishopville, South Carolina. I'm thanking God for her. How you doing this morning, Sandra?
I'm doing well, Evangelist. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, and I'm so grateful to receive the book that you sent to me. Um, and the book is entitled "To Hell and Back." Wow. I love that title, and it's the power of forgiveness and redemption. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself first of all, to let the listeners and the viewers know who you are and where are you coming from?
Okay, sure. Well, my name is Sandra Gamble, but I'm also known as the Hope Dealer. Some people sell
Mm,
dope. I don't do that. I'm just dealing hope.
I
People
love
build
it.
dope. Some people build houses. I build people. I'm a mental health counselor, life coach, author, notary, Jesus girl.
I love it. I love it. Yes, building hope. I'm telling you, because this country has been through so much, and people as individuals have gone through many struggles and things, but we're still coming out on top because we believe that Jesus Christ, uh, got our back, and I love that building hope, building people, not tearing them down. I love that little slogan, the hope dealer. I
Yes,
love it. Yes, I love it. All right, and you have written three books. This is not your first book, but you have written three books total, and we would just like to hear a little bit. Tell us the titles of the other two books that you have.
the second book is called Good Grief, and it's talking about the 5 stages of grief and how to effectively navigate through the 5 stages.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that death is not final for the believer, it's merely see you later.
Right,
And then,
right.
yeah, and then the newest book is Give Up to Glow, and it talks about the 6 things that we need to give up if we want to go and grow in life.
Mm, that's awesome. Awesome. Now, the book that you sent me, I often say this little statement: I've been to hell and back. And when I read the title, it said to hell and back. Can you tell me why you chose that title for this book, this particular book?
Sure. I grew up, just a little backstory. I grew up in a two-parent home as an only child. And for outward appearances, society would say we had everything. We had,
Mm-hmm.
my parents had an acre of land. They had a nice home, 2 cars in the yard, nice furniture, and they worked. However, and we would go to church on Sundays. However, behind closed doors, it was not that was not our reality. My dad had mood swings. He was verbally, physically, and emotionally abusive toward my mother as well as myself. He would burn
Mm,
my hair out. He would spit in his tea and make me drink it. And so it was very volatile in my home. And so
mm.
that's my version of going to hell.
Right. Right. Yes. I hate that, but it's a real thing. It's a real place that when we go through different things, and a lot of times they would say what goes on this in this house stays in this house. But that is bounding up that child, is bounding up that situation, and a lot of people don't be set free until they're adults, and and they carry this all their life. And so dealing in relationships and different things, they have problems, they have real serious problems dealing with it. And a lot of them block it out, try to block it out and act like it never happened and things like that. So I understand how it feels to live in a home that everybody else is thinking is so good, but you were really literally being physically and mentally abused. So we thank you for sharing your story, because a lot of people still not set free from what they went through when they was 5, or when they went through when they was 10, or whatever, um whatever point in their life, they're not set free from it, because
Hmm.
they haven't came to the realization that God can deliver them from no matter what they've been through, whether it was rape or abuse, or just mental anguish. Because after a while you become resentful, I'm sure, of that person that's the abuser. So we thank you for sharing your story to the world, so they will know you do not have it's power in forgiveness, and receiving redemption from God, that he will take you through no matter what your situation is. And you say you're a mental health coach, and what all does that entail? Can you do that to the public, or are you just a mental health coach at church? Can you explain that just a little bit more to us?
I'm a mental health counselor.
Oh,
I
counselor. Oh,
actually,
I wrote
I'm
coach. Okay, I wrote
yeah,
coach. Okay.
yeah, I did say life coach as well, but I am a mental health
Come in.
counselor. I am a mental health counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trained. I got a bachelor's in psychology from South Carolina State University and a
Awesome.
master's in counseling with an emphasis in mental health. And my whole journey toward being a counselor was to try to understand my dad. I was looking for answers. I was
Right.
trying to make it make sense for me. And so that's the journey that God took me on, not knowing that when I graduated from college, I would have to in turn take care of father that couldn't take care of me for 12
Mm.
years.
It turn around and you have to be the person to give him care, to take care of him. Now, oh wow. And that's a hard place sometimes, I'm sure it wasn't easy for you to do that, but you had to have God in your life to be able to do that, because a lot of times people don't forgive. They say, I forgive you, but I won't forget it.
Right.
So,
And go ahead, I'm sorry.
oh, no, no, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember, scripture, honor thy mother and thy father, so thy days may be long upon the land. And I remember asking God, I said, God, how do you honor a father that doesn't honor you? How do you honor a
Mm,
father that brought me so much pain? And how is this fair that I have to honor him when he dishonored me?
wow. Wow. And only God can answer those questions for you, because you lived through it. I mean, you actually lived through it. Um, Now, this book, how can we get this book to be able to read this book? How can we purchase this book?
Well, there's two ways to get the book. You can visit my website. I actually have a website called dealinghopenotdope.com. That's my
Oh,
actual
wow.
website.
I have to type it in.
So it's
Ah, uh-huh.
dealinghopenotdope.com.
Okay. Dealing hope, not dope. I love it. .com. That's an
And
awesome website. I gotta go over there and check that out.
check it out.
Yes,
And it's also
dealinghopenotdope.com.
yes. And
Awesome,
it's
awesome.
and it's also available on Amazon.
Amazon, right? We always want to keep it there because Amazon is the place to go to for books. I'm telling you, when I wrote my book and I was trying to get it to be a bestseller, and it was bestseller in three categories, and I saw all these books being written. I was like, wow, I was overwhelmed. I really wasn't expecting it to be so many authors out there. But
Hmm.
God utilizes us to write our stories, to write our journey, and then it blesses other people to not have to go through some of the things that we went through. So I thank you and I commend you for writing this book. Now, on the back of your book, you wrote something that was very powerful to me. It said this book is dedicated to everyone that has gone through any type of trauma. It is my hope that after reading this book, it will give you the strength to forgive and help you even further in your journey of emotional freedom. So you have been totally set free from this thing, and I know. Did you have to actually go to counseling yourself after coming up in such a abusive place?
I didn't go to counseling, um, but I became the counselor that I needed.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and
that is something. How
and
God
and and
used you to go to school and major in what you needed. Wow.
yeah, and so that's why my business is Hope Dealer, Wounded Healer LLC. So every time I help somebody else heal, I got healed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That is
so that's how that
awesome.
works. That's how that works. Um, but God told me, He said, you're going to have to bring counseling to the people because there's such a stigma attached to mental health, especially in
Yes.
the African American communities.
Mhm.
And He said, you're going to have to be the voice. And you're going to have to help people understand that mental illness is a disease. It's real
Right.
and has progression. And when left unchecked, when left when you're not taking care of your mental health, it can be chronic and deadly. You have to help people to understand if they can normalize going to the doctor for diabetes and heart
Mhm.
disease and hypertension and taking medications. You need to normalize telling them that it's okay to not be okay mentally, but it's not okay to
Mhm.
stay that way.
Especially in the church. I mean, it's a
Yes.
lot of mental health issues going on in the church. And I can remember a few years ago here in Raleigh, North Carolina, I think it was Raleigh or Durham, a pastor had went to church that morning with his wife's body in the trunk. Got up there and preached like she was just out that day. But he had killed the woman and put her in the trunk of his car, but still went to church and preached to the people. And I'm like, that is a sick individual. They have some mental health issues going on, and nobody saw it. Nobody even recognized it.
That's a lot of what happened with us.
We can look for um in the mental health issues that's going on.
I'm sorry, say that again. You went
Are
out for
there
a
some
moment.
signs like like anger or displaying outbursts of anger or something like that? Are there some signs like with diabetes your insulin level goes up? It's saying that you're a diabetic or that your sugar level goes up or whatever. But
Yes, yes.
so in mental health, is there a sign that is this person angry all the time, or what were some of the signs that went on with your father even before he started to being that physical abuser?
Okay, so yeah, there are signs. So my dad diagnosis, his clinical diagnosis was bipolar manic depressive disorder with psychotic features. And so
Wow.
I just want to teach for a moment. So when you
Yes,
think
go
about
ahead.
you think about two, bicycle, biracial. So with bipolar, he had two moods. He had a depressive mood and then he had a manic phase. And the goal is to keep him level. And so when you're in a manic phase, when a person is experiencing mania, they have increased irritability, decreased need for sleep. They have an inflated ego.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very promiscuous. Sometimes they drive really, really fast, and they wear loud color clothes, and they spend a lot of money. So that's a manic phase.
Mm.
And easily angered, irritability, frustrated. And of course, when a person is depressed, they have feelings of hopelessness, poor hygiene, increased need for sleep, feelings of hopelessness.
Mm.
They don't, the things that used to bring them pleasure, they no longer enjoy. And so those are some
Mm.
telltale signs something may be potentially going wrong.
That's awesome, sis. Thank you for helping us this morning to understand this is an illness, and and they just can't help themselves. It's just even like your hormone levels could be off, or whatever. It's some things going on internal that's going
Right,
on,
right.
that and it takes a great big God, but he can bring you out of this situation,
You,
and
you can.
we just have to get them the help that they need.
Yes,
It's just like an alcoholic going to AA. They have to recognize that they have a problem and then deal with the problem. And and it's unfortunate that so many people sweep this under the rug, and the person, the child, or whoever is being abused, they don't get the help they need.
right,
And
right. And they
a lot
they
of
walk
times it
around
ends
all of
in
their
death.
lives. Hmm.
Hmm. It ends in death. Either their own kill themselves, or they may kill others. You never know. So we thank God that He protected you and brought you out of that situation. And so you continue to share your story, because it's gonna help somebody else not to have to go through what you went through. And
Thank you. To God be the glory. Um, I wanna read one little insert from my book if I can. It's
sure,
very
you
short,
can. Mhm.
and I just think I felt like God is leading me to read this so somebody can hear it. It says
Yes.
that I am an overcomer. I am a purpose pusher, a world changer, fearfully and wonderfully made, created on purpose with purpose, and the apple of God's eyes. I'm a king's kid with heavenly benefits. I may not have done the test perfectly, but I stayed for the test, and God rewards obedience. Only God could turn my pain into purpose, and the very thing that was sent to destroy me thrusted me
Mm.
into my destiny. I
Yes.
was once the woman with the issue with dad, but God. I touched the hem within the hem, and I was made well. The journey to forgiveness isn't easy, but it's doable. You are already in pain, so make it pay. It will be well worth it. I pray that this person reading this book will find the strength and the courage to fight for freedom.
That's it. I mean, you got to want to be free. You got to want to be healed. You got to want to be made whole. The woman with the issue of blood, she wanted to. She had did everything she knew humanly possible to find her healing, but she had to touch the hem of Jesus' garment and have the faith to believe that
Mhm.
she was healed,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
even though after God has done what he's supposed to do, we have to have a responsibility on our part to accept that we are healed, we are made whole, and we are set free. So I'm really, really can't wait to dive into this book, and I think I will read it on my trip tomorrow. I just really want to be able to read this and understand how you got out of what you were in, because a lot of people don't get a chance to get out. uh and this is really helping me to realize that all those years of abuse and different things that I went through, I should have met the hope dealer. If I could have only met the hope dealer. I love it, girl. You keep that going. You keep that going because
Let let
I'm
let me
telling you,
let me stand up
I
for a
deal
minute
with
so
a
you can
lot.
see.
Oh, we got t-shirts. Oh yes, we are on it. I love it, girl. I love it. And so now, did you do research and find out, was your father abused?
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about mental illness. Mental illness is passed along. It can be genetically linked. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of times, just like we pass down diabetes and heart hypertension and all those things, it can be genetically linked. Um, you can have an head injury or trauma, or you can have an exposure. Now, my dad was in the military, so I don't know what happened there, but I do
Right.
know he grew up in a volatile home as well. And
Wow.
so, as human beings, I want to teach for a moment is that we recreate what we learn. We live what we learn
Mm,
until we can unlearn what we live.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I can tell you are an awesome teacher as well. Um, so you continue to pass those nuggets on, and let people know that even though you were in that abusive relationships with your father, that was torture. Another other word come to my mind, but torture. He tortured you, but you got out. You survived it. Your mom survived it as well. So, when a parent is watching their child go through different things, they don't know what to do to get out. But I mean, you're a very unique person because, like you said, you went to school and became your own counselor. I mean, learning about the different mental illnesses and different things of mental health, you learning that it helped healed you each chapter of your journey. It went down. It had to go deep because once those things happen to you and you build that up and it builds up and it builds up, one day you would have exploded, and then you could have possibly been an abuser yourself. But
Thank
thank
God.
God, he
Hallelujah.
stepped
Yes.
in right on time.
Yes.
And
And full disclaimer, I did not want to write this book. Let me go ahead and
mm,
tell the truth. It wasn't I had this title. God gave me this title 10 years before I wrote the book. But I
wow.
I didn't want to write it. And pride stepped in and said, you know what? I don't want people to know what I experienced. I don't want people to know what I endured. I don't want people
Hmm.
in this. And God dealt with me and he said, do you think this was ever about you? He
That's
told me,
good.
the Holy Spirit told me, he said, the fact that I kept your little mind was to bring me glory. And I dare
Mm,
you make it about you. This is about you allowing other people to be delivered with your story, but bringing me glory.
mm, that's
So
awesome.
I sat
And
down
so,
and wrote the book.
right, that's right. Yes, Lord. You have to just one day just say yes, Lord. But
Yes, Lord.
let's talk a second before our time is up about forgiveness. Now, have you forgiven your father for the abuse?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
I heard you say that now you are his caregiver, the
Well,
person
he's
that brought you
deceased
so
now.
much pain and anguish. Excuse me.
He's deceased now. But before he
Oh,
transitioned,
okay.
yeah, I had forgiven him. Yeah, yeah.
That's good. Good. Thank you, Lord. I'm telling you, because a lot of people, they don't, they, like I said, I'll forget it, but I ain't go, I'll forgive you. But I don't think that's true forgiveness when you say you're not going to forget it. Because I know the different things that I've been through in my life, I had to really godly forgive them Forgiving somebody in the natural is different from forgiving them spiritually, because you got to get that thing out of your heart. You got to be able to say that I love that person no matter what. The person that abused me every day when I was in my sister's home, he's just recently passed away. But before he passed away, I mean I would speak to him. I had truly forgave the man, because, like you said, it's a illness. It's an
Hmm.
illness. It really attacks their mental capability of, this is the way they show love. They think that's showing love, but that ain't showing love. When you hurting somebody, you abusing somebody, you sexually assaulting somebody. That's not love.
Hurt people hurt
So
people.
that's true. That's true.
That's not just a cliche. That's real.
Yeah,
Hurt
they
people
want to
hurt
see you hurt
people,
just like that because they're hurting.
and heal
But
people
I,
heal
I
people.
thank God. I thank God that I had the capability of to show this person love no matter what they did to me. I forgave. And
Hmm.
so, and it was a hard thing for me, because I wasn't always saved. So I come in from the street. So I would rather cut him up and forgive him when I got saved and filled with the Holy Ghost. That's what helped me to be able to forgive.
Hmm.
I had to forgetting those things behind me. I had to press toward the mark, because I want to see heaven one day. So I had to forgive. So we
Hmm.
as Christians, we have to uh, continue to push hope. I'm telling you, in the times we live in, we have to tell them about this God, this great big God that we serve, and that He
Hmm.
loves them in spite of what they have done, in spite of what they have said. So you continue to write, and I'm looking forward to the next book. I know it's coming soon, because once you write one, then you write another one and another one, and you just keep going, because um it's different layers of your life that needs to be shared with others to help them to get to the point that they need to get to. So this has been a powerful interview with none other than Sandra Gamble, all the way from Bishopville, South Carolina. I'm awake now. And we thank you for tuning in to Spreading the Gospel Network. You can go over to spreadingthegospelnetwork.com. That's spreadingthegospelnetwork.com, and be able to listen to this book interview for the next week. Starting tomorrow, it's daily from 6:30 to 7. On Saturday, it's from 6 to 6:30. Thank you again, Sandra, for sharing your story with us this morning, sharing your book, and letting the people know that you're there as a mental health counselor. God bless you, because sometimes it's hard to listen to somebody's story, listen to
Yes.
what they've been through. Uh, I remember one time I was testifying, and I was talking about being being raped and all of this, and the lady walked up to me. She said, "Now you didn't have to say all that." But that's how I got my deliverance. That's how I got set free from it, was to talk about it and share it with others so they wouldn't have to go through what I've been through. So that sort of threw a ringer in there for me, like, how dare you tell me what should share and not share? This is my story. This is my journey. So we
Right.
applaud you for the book To Hell and Back: The Power of Forgiveness and Redemption by Sandra Gamble. Go on over to um, Amazon.com and look up her name, Sandra Gamble, and purchase this book, or go to her website. Girl, give us that website again.
Dealing hope, not dope.com.
Dealing Hope, Not Dope.com. Continue to listen in and tune in to Spreading the Gospel Network. We have some powerful book interviews, and I'm thanking God for the one that we done today, and look forward to many, many more. Sandra will be featured in one of our magazines in the month of June. So we have an authors magazine, and we also have our women's Divine Women's Network magazine. So she will be featured in one of those magazines as well. Thank you, Sandra, and God bless you. I look to meet you real soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have a great day. God bless.
You- Bless you.